What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about financing investment properties and how you can get into it with little money out of pocket. Let's get into that. If you've ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, then you know that investing in real estate is one of the better and safer routes to financial freedom and generating passive income altogether. What does it take to start investing in real estate? Do you need a bunch of money sitting in your bank account to actually start investing? Not always is that the case. There are ways that you can get into the investment side of real estate with very little out of pocket, especially if you don't have the general 20% down that's typically advertised or required for an investment property. There are other routes that you can take to get into a property with as little as like 3.5% down. This is called house hacking. House hacking is buying a home and renting out a portion or a part of the house in order for you to use that rent to live mortgage free or payment free per se. So to give you an example, let's say you're a first time home buyer and you're okay buying, let's say, a duplex. Well, FHA allows you to buy a property up to 4 units as long as you're living in one of the units. So let's say you find a duplex that's priced competitively for your qualification. You can actually buy that duplex as long as you live in one of the units. You can rent out that other unit, actually use that rental income to help you qualify for that mortgage initially, which is another hack. But you can also use that mortgage or use that rent amount that you're receiving from your tenant once you do close on the house to help you make that mortgage payment. So let's say that duplex, you have a mortgage payment of $1,500 and the other unit that you're renting out rents for $1,100. Let's just say that's the case. You're actually renting that out for $1,100 and then you're paying the remaining $400 on your mortgage. That means you're living in that home that you own that is appreciating for $400 a month. That is stellar. There are other cases where, let's say you find a competitively priced triplex or fourplex that you are okay living in one of the units. Well, chances are something like that is going to pay your mortgage payment because you have those additional units that you're renting out to make that overall mortgage payment. All right, let's say you're not interested in the house hacking route, meaning you're not willing to buy a property, live in the unit, and then rent out the other unit or units to pay for the mortgage. Let's say you already own a home. You own this home, you've lived in there for a few years, and now you're ready to start investing in real estate. Problem is, you don't have the capital right now to start throwing at investment properties. But you do own this current property, but you're not interested in selling the property. You want to have a house to live in, but you know that there's equity in the property. Let's say that property is worth $300,000 and you owe around $200,000 based on when you purchased it and what you've paid it down to. These are just easy numbers to work with. If it's worth $300,000 and you owe $200,000 on it, that means your loan to value is about 66%. That means you actually have equity in the home. What this actually means too is that you can take some of that equity out of the home and use it for investing in real estate or other means, taking a vacation, renovating your home, anything like that. But for this case, let's say you need the money for investing in more real estate. Well, you can refinance that house and you can bring that loan to value from 66% up to 80%. So that means your loan right now is at $200,000. You can bring that loan up to $240,000. Let's say that there's no closing costs or anything associated, just to keep it around even numbers. You're bringing that from 200 to 240. You're taking that 40,000 out in equity. That is your money that you get to pocket. That money you can use to invest in more real estate. So let's say that you found a house down the road that you're wanting to purchase. And let's say just to make it simple, that house is priced at $200,000. Well, if it's just you going to purchase that house and your sole intent is as an investment property, you're going to rent it out afterwards, then you need to put down 20%. That means you need to put down $40,000. So you just got $40,000 from your refinance. You need $40,000 for this investment purchase. There you go. That's another easy route to take when looking for extra capital to start investing in real estate. All right, let's look at a different scenario now. Let's say you own a house worth $300,000 and you have a loan on it of $240,000. Well, your loan to value is 80%. You're needing some extra capital to start investing in real estate. Where is that capital going to come from? You don't have it in your savings. You can't withdraw from like a 401k, anything like that. You're wanting to get it out of the equity of your home because you have 20% equity. Why can't you tap into it? Another route that you can take to get that equity is not a traditional refinance, but you can actually get what's called a home equity line of credit. This is something that is attached to the equity on your mortgage. So depending on the bank or institution that you go to, you can either go from your 80% loan to value right now, and you can get an equity line from 85% to 90%. Some even do it to 95 or even 100% of your value, depending on the bank. Let's say you do find a bank that will do it all the way up to 100% of your value. That means that they are going to open up a line of credit against your equity for $60,000. This acts like a credit card technically. So they have opened this line of credit, given you a card or something like that for $60,000. Now, technically with this card, you now have maxed out the amount of equity that you can get from your home that is worth $300,000. As a disclaimer, this can be a little risky just because if you max out that line of credit, then you technically owe $300,000 on a home that's only worth $300,000. So if you go to sell with all of your costs involved with selling a home, you could be upside down. You might have to come to the table with some money. In this case, let's say we're not worried about that. You just opened up a line of credit for $60,000 on the equity of your home. You can now use that money to renovate the house that you just purchased, maybe that investment property down the road, or you can even use that money to invest in more real estate. This is just another easy route to take when looking to get your foot in the door with investing. All right, one of my favorite creative ways of actually investing in real estate is utilizing the second home rule. So a second home rule is, let's say you live in Arizona, but you travel to California, Utah, Florida, wherever it is quite frequently. Maybe you have family there. You can actually buy that property there as a second home, and instead of buying it as an investment property and having to put down 20%, your minimum down payment is now 10%. So you can buy that property that's worth $200,000 with only putting down $20,000 instead of the $40,000. That's $40,000 that would be required for the actual investment property purchase. Now, you know, after purchasing this house, you're not going to be utilizing this house all year long. Well, you can now rent out this home as long as like an HOA allows it, or CC&Rs. Check those before you do purchase. But let's say you are able to rent it out. You can rent it out short term on a website like Airbnb while you're not living in the home. A lot of people will do this, like especially people moving to Arizona or living here just during the winter months. They're not living in that property during the summer months, and so they will Airbnb the property for people traveling here during the summer. But that is an awesome route to take, and one of my favorites, because you're only having to put down 10% versus the traditional 20%. All right, guys, that is just a few of the more creative routes to utilize when getting into the investment side of real estate. There are plenty more options. If you have any other questions or maybe looking for a different route. Maybe those that I just discussed won't work for you. Let's discuss what will and how you can get your foot into the door with investing. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, again, please don't hesitate to reach out, and please do remember to like and subscribe so more people can see this video. Thanks again. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.